The third branch of the Mabinogi. After the 7 men we spoke of above had buried Bendigeid Fran's head on the Gwyn Ffryn in London, with its face towards France, Manawydan looked at the town of London, and at his companions, and heaved a great sigh, and immense sorrow and longing came over him. "Alas, Almighty God, woe is me," he said. "I am the only one who has no place to go tonight." "Lord," said Pryderi, "do not be so sad. Your cousin Caswallon is king over the island of the mighty, and although he has done you wrong," he said, "you have never claimed land or territory. You are one of the 3 undemanding chieftains." "Well," he said, "although that man may be my cousin, I am extremely sad to see anyone take the place of Bendigeid Fran, my brother, and I could not be happy under the same roof as him." "Will you take any other advice?" said Pryderi. "I need it," he said. "And what advice is that?" "The 7 cantrefs of Dyfed were left to me," said Pryderi, "and Rhiannon, my mother, lives there. I shall give her to you, together with the authority over those 7 cantrefs. Although it may be the only realm you have, there are no better 7 cantrefs. My wife is Sigfa, daughter of Gwyn Gloyw," he said, "and although the realm will be mine in name, let the benefits be yours and Rhiannon's. And if you ever wanted a realm of your own, perhaps you could take that one." "I've never wanted one, Lord," he said, "but may God repay you your friendship." "The best friendship I can give you shall be yours if you want it." "I do, friend," he said. "May God repay you, and I shall go with you to visit Rhiannon and the realm." "You're doing the right thing," he said. "I'm sure that you have never heard a woman converse better than Rhiannon. When she was in her prime there was no woman more beautiful, and even now you will not be disappointed with her looks." They set off. Although the road was long, they came at last to Dyfed. A feast had been prepared for them, ready for their arrival at Arbeth, arranged by Rhiannon and Cigfa. Then Manawydan and Rhiannon sat together and began to converse, and as a result of that conversation his head and heart grew tender towards her, and he was delighted that he had never seen a woman who was fairer or more beautiful than her. "Pryderi," he said, "I will agree to your proposal." "What was that?" said Rhiannon. "My lady," said Pryderi, "I have given you as a wife to Manawydan, son of Llŷr." "I will agree to that gladly," said Rhiannon. "I am glad too," said Manawydan, "and may God repay the man who gives me such firm friendship." Before that feast finished, he slept with her. "Continue with what is left of the feast," said Pryderi, "and I will go to England to pay homage to Caswallon, son of Beli." "Lord," said Rhiannon, "Caswallon is in Kent, so you can continue with the feast and wait till he is closer." "Then we will wait for him," said Pryderi. They finished the feast and began to make a circuit of Dyfed, where they hunted and enjoyed themselves. As they wandered through the land, they had never seen a place more pleasant to live in, nor better hunting ground, nor land more abundant in honey and fish, and during that time a friendship developed between the 4 of them, so that not one wished to be without the other, either day or night. In the meantime, Pryderi went to pay homage to Caswallon in Oxford, where he was given a great welcome, and was thanked for paying homage. When he returned, Pryderi and Manawydan feasted and relaxed. They began a feast at Arbeth, for it was one of the chief courts, and every celebration originated from there. That night, after the first sitting, while the servants were eating, they got up and went out, and the 4 of them proceeded to Gorsedd Arbeth, and many people with them. As they were sitting there, they heard a tumultuous noise, and with the intensity of that noise there fell a blanket of mist so that they could not see each other. And after the mist, everywhere became bright. When they looked to where they had once seen the flocks and herds and dwelling places, they could now see nothing at all. Neither building nor beast, neither smoke nor fire, neither man nor dwelling place, only the court buildings, empty, desolate, uninhabited, without people, without animals in them. Their own companions had disappeared, with nothing known of their whereabouts. Only the 4 of them remained. "Dear Lord God," said Manawydan, "where is the court retinue and our company apart from us? Let us go and look." They came to the hall. There was no one. They went to the chamber and sleeping quarters. They could see no one. In the mead hall and kitchen there was nothing but desolation. The four of them continued with the feast, and they hunted and enjoyed themselves. Each one of them began to wander through the land and realm to see whether they could find either a building or a dwelling place, but nothing at all did they see, only wild animals. When they'd finished their feast and provisions, they began to live on meat they hunted, and on fish and swarms of wild bees. And so they spent a year happily, and the second. But at last they grew tired. "God knows," said Manawydan, "we cannot live like this. Let us go to England and seek a craft by which we may make our living." They set off for England and came to Hereford, and took up saddle-making. Manawydan began to shape pommels and colour them with blue enamel in the way he had seen it done by Llasa Llysgengoed, and he prepared blue enamel as the other man had done. And because of that, it is still called Llasa's enamel, because Llasa Llysgengoed made it. As long as that work could be had from Manawydan, neither pommels nor saddles were purchased from any other saddler throughout all Hereford. And the saddlers realised that they were losing their profits, and that nothing was being bought from them unless it could not be supplied by Manawydan. So they got together and agreed to kill him and his companions. But in the meantime the two of them received a warning, and discussed whether they should leave the town. "Between me and God," said Pryderi, "my advice is not to leave the town, but rather to kill these churls." "No," said Manawydan. "If we were to fight them, we would get a bad reputation and would be imprisoned. It would be better for us to go to another town and earn our living there." Then the four of them went to another city. "What craft shall we take on?" said Pryderi. "We will make shields," said Manawydan. "Do we know anything about that?" said Pryderi. "We will attempt it," he said. They began making shields, shaping them after the design of good shields that they had seen, and colouring them as they had coloured the saddles. Their work flourished, so that no shield was being bought throughout the town unless it could not be supplied by them. They worked quickly and made vast quantities, and so they continued until their fellow townsmen became angry with them and agreed to try and kill them. But they received a warning and heard that the men were intent on putting them to death. "Pryderi," said Manawydan, "these men want to kill us." "We will not take that from these churls. Let us go for them and kill them." "No," he replied. "Caswellan would get to hear of it, and his men, and we would be ruined. We will go to another town." They came to another town. "What craft shall we take up?" said Manawydan. "Whatever craft you want of those we know," said Pryderi. "Not so," he said. "We'll take up shoemaking. Shoemakers will not have the heart to fight us or forbid us." "I know nothing about that craft," said Pryderi. "But I do," said Manawydan, "and I will teach you how to stitch, and we will not bother to tan the leather, but buy it already prepared and work with that." Then he began to buy the finest Cordovan leather he could get in town, and bought no other leather except leather for the soles. He began to make friends with the best goldsmiths in town, and had buckles made for the shoes, and had them gilded, and watched the process himself until he knew how to do it. And because of that he was called one of the 3 golden shoemakers. As long as a shoe or a boot could be supplied by him, nothing was bought from any shoemaker throughout the town. The shoemakers realised that they were losing their profits, for as Manawydan cut out the leather, Pryderi stitched it. The shoemakers came and took counsel. They agreed to kill them. "Pryderi," said Manawydan, "the men want to kill us." "Why should we take that from the thieving churls rather than kill them all?" said Pryderi. "No," said Manawydan, "we will not fight them, nor will we stay in England any longer. We will set off and go and visit Dyfed." Although the road was long, they came at last to Dyfed, and made for Arberth, where they kindled a fire, and began to support themselves by hunting. And they spent a month like this. They gathered their hounds about them and hunted, and spent a year there in this way. One morning Pryderi and Manawydan get up to hunt. They get their dogs ready and leave the court. Some of the dogs run ahead of them and approach a small thicket that is nearby. But as soon as they entered the thicket, they came out again quickly, their hair standing on end, with fear, and returned to the men. "Let us get closer to the thicket to see what is inside," said Pryderi. They approached the thicket. As they approached, a gleaming white wild boar rose from it. Encouraged by the men, the dogs charged at him. The boar then left the thicket and retreated a little way from the men, and until the men closed in on him, he would keep the dogs at bay without retreating. But when the men closed in, he would retreat and break away. They followed the boar until they saw a huge towering fort, newly built, in a place where they had never before seen either stone or building. The boar was heading quickly for the fort with the dogs after him. When the boar and the dogs had gone into the fort, the men marvelled at seeing the fort in a place where they had never before seen any building at all. From the top of the mound they looked and listened for the dogs. Although they waited for a long time, they did not hear the sound of a single dog, nor anything at all about them. "Lord," said Pryderi, "I will go into the fort to seek news of the dogs." "God knows," replied Manawydan. "It's not a good idea for you to go into the fort. We have never seen it before. If you take my advice, you'll not enter, for whoever cast a spell on the land has caused the fort to appear." "God knows," said Pryderi, "I will not abandon my dogs." In spite of the advice he received from Manawydan, Pryderi approached the fort. When he entered, neither man nor beast, neither boar nor dogs, neither house nor dwelling place could he see in the fort. But he could see in the middle of the floor, as it were, a well with marble work around it. At the edge of the well there was a golden bowl fastened to 4 chains over a marble slab, and the chains reached up to the sky, and he could see no end to them. He was enraptured by the beauty of the gold and the fine workmanship of the bowl, and he went to the bowl and grabbed it. But as soon as he grabs the bowl, his hands stick to it, and his feet stick to the slab on which he was standing, and the power of speech is taken from him, so that he could not utter a single word. And there he stood. Manawydan waited for him almost until evening. Late in the afternoon, when he was certain that he would get no news about Pryderi or the dogs, he returned to the court. When he entered, Rhiannon looked at him. "Where is your companion and your dogs?" she said. "This is what happened," he said, and told her the whole story. "God knows," said Rhiannon, "you have been a poor companion, and you have lost a good friend." And with those words she went out, going in the direction he had told her Pryderi and the fort could be found. She found the gate of the fort open. It was ajar, and in she came. As soon as she entered, she discovered Pryderi gripping the bowl, and she went up to him. "My lord," she said, "what are you doing here?" Then she too grabbed the bowl. As soon as she grabs it, her hands too stick to the bowl, and her feet to the slab, so that she too could not utter a single word. Then as soon as it was night, there was a tumultuous noise above them, and a blanket of mist, and then the fort disappeared, and so did they. When Cigfa, daughter of Gwyn Gloy, wife of Pryderi, saw that she and Manawydan were alone in the court, she lamented that she did not care whether she lived or died. Manawydan saw this. "God knows," he said, "you are mistaken if you are lamenting because you are afraid of me. I give you God as my guarantor that you will never find a truer friend than me for as long as God wishes it so. I swear to God, even if I were in the prime of youth, I would be true to Pryderi. And for your sake too, I will be true, and so have no fear at all," he said. "I swear to God," he said. "You shall have the friendship that you want from me, as far as I am able, for as long as God wants us to be in this misery and sorrow." "May God repay you, I thought as much," said Cigfa. Then the maiden cheered up and took courage because of that. "Well, my friend," said Manawydan, "there is no point our staying here. We've lost our dogs and we cannot support ourselves. Let us go to England. It will be easier for us to support ourselves there." "Gladly, Lord," she said. "Let us do that." Together they journeyed to England. "Lord," she said, "what craft will you choose? Choose one that is clean." "I will choose nothing but shoemaking, as I did before," he said. "Lord," she said, "that craft as regards its cleanliness is not suitable for a man of your skill and status." "Well, that's the one I will follow," he said. He set about his craft and shaped his work from the fairest Cordovan leather he could get in town. As they'd done in the other place, he began to fit the shoes with golden buckles until the works of all the shoemakers in town was worthless and inferior compared to his. And as long as a shoe or boot could be supplied by him, nothing was bought from anyone else. And so he spent a year there, until the shoemakers became envious and jealous of him, and until warnings reached him saying that the shoemakers had decided to kill him. "Lord," said Cigfa, "why should we put up with this from the churls?" "We will not," he said, "but we will return to Dyfed." They set out for Dyfed. When Manawydan set off, he took with him a load of wheat and made for Arberth and settled there. Nothing gave him more pleasure than seeing Arberth and the land where he had been hunting, he and Pryderi and Rhiannon with them. He began to get used to catching fish and wild animals in their lairs. After that he began to till the soil, and then he sowed a small field, and a second, and a third. And indeed the wheat sprang up the best in the world, his 3 fields flourishing alike, so that no one had seen wheat finer than that. The seasons of the year passed by. Harvest time arrived, and he went to look at one of his fields. It was ripe. "I will reap this tomorrow," he said. He returned that night to Arberth. In the grey dawn the next day, he comes intending to reap the field. When he arrives, there are only the bare stalks, each one having been broken off where the ear comes out of the stalk, and the ears have all been carried away and the stalks left there bare. He is greatly surprised at that and goes to look at another field. It is ripe. "God only knows," he said, "I'll reap this one tomorrow." The next day he comes with the intention of reaping the field. When he arrives, there is nothing but bare stalks. "Oh, Lord God," he said, "who is trying to destroy me completely? I know this much. Whoever began this destruction is now bringing it to an end, and has destroyed the land along with me." He comes to look at the third field. When he arrives, no one has seen finer wheat, and all of it ripe. "Shame on me," he said, "if I do not keep watch tonight. Whoever carried off the other wheat will come to take this, and I'll find out who it is." He took his weapons and began to keep watch over the field. He told Cigfa everything. "Well," she said, "what have you in mind?" "I will keep watch over the field tonight," he said. He went to keep watch over the field. While he was doing so, towards midnight, he heard the loudest noise in the world. He looked. There was a huge army of mice. They could not be counted or measured. The next thing he knew, the mice were making for the field, and each one was climbing up along a stalk and bending it down and breaking the ear and making off with the ears and leaving the stalks behind. And as far as he knew, there was not a single stalk there without a mouse to it. And they ran away, carrying the ears with them. Then, enraged and angered, he charged in among the mice. He could no more keep his eye on one of them than on the gnats or the birds in the air. But he could see that one was very fat and unlikely to be able to move quickly. He went after that one and caught it and put it in his glove and tied the mouth of the glove with string and kept hold of it and made for the court. Manawydan came to the chamber where Cigfa was, and he lit the fire and hung the glove by its string on the peg. "What do you have there, Lord?" said Cigfa. "A thief that I caught stealing from me," he replied. "What sort of thief, Lord? Could you put in your glove?" she said. "I'll tell you everything," he said, and he told her how his fields had been destroyed and laid waste, and how the mice had come to the last field before his very eyes. "And one of them was very fat, and I caught it, and it's inside this glove, and I intend to hang it tomorrow. And by my confession to God, had I caught them all, I'd hang them." "Lord," she said, "I'm not surprised, but yet it's not proper for a man of your status and rank to hang that sort of creature. If you were to do the right thing, you would not bother with the creature, but let it go." "Shame on me," he said, "if I would not have hanged them all had I caught them. But what I have caught I will hang." "Well, Lord," she said, "there's no reason why I should help this creature, except to prevent you from being disgraced. So do as you will, Lord." "If I knew of any reason in the world why you should help the creature, I would take your advice. But since I do not, my lady, I intend to destroy it." "Then do so gladly," she said. Then he made for Gorsedd Arberth, taking the mouse with him, and he pushed 2 forks into the highest point of the mound. As he was doing this, he could see a cleric coming towards him, dressed in poor, threadbare old clothes. And it was 7 years since he had seen either man or beast, except for the 4 people who had been together until 2 of them disappeared. "Lord," said the cleric, "good day to you." "May God prosper you and welcome," said Manawydan. "Where do you come from, cleric?" he said. "I come, Lord, from England, where I've been singing." "And why do you ask, Lord?" "Because for the last 7 years I've not seen a single person here apart from 4 exiled people, and now yourself." "Well, Lord," he said, "I myself am just passing through on the way to my own country. But what sort of work are you engaged in, Lord?" "Hanging a thief I caught stealing from me," he said. "What sort of thief, Lord?" he said. "I can see a creature in your hand that looks like a mouse. It's not fitting for a man of your status to handle such a creature. Let it go." "I will not, between me and God," he said. "I caught it stealing and I am punishing it in accordance with the law, which is to hang it." "Lord," he said, "rather than see a man of your status involved in such work, I will give you the £1 I received as charity to let that creature go." "Between me and God, I will neither sell it nor let it go." "As you wish, Lord," he said. "If it were not improper to see a man of your status touching such a creature, it would not worry me." And off went the cleric. As Manawydan was placing the crossbeam on the forks, he saw a priest approaching on a well-equipped horse. "Lord, good day to you," he said. "May God prosper you," said Manawydan, "and I ask for your blessing." "God's blessing upon you. What sort of work, Lord, are you engaged in?" "I'm hanging a thief I caught stealing from me," he said. "What sort of thief, Lord?" he said. "A creature in the shape of a mouse," he said, "and it stole from me, and I'm putting it to death in the way one should a thief." "Lord, rather than see you handle that creature, I'll buy it from you. Let it go." "By my confession to God, I will neither sell it nor let it go." "The truth is, Lord, it is worth nothing, but rather than see you defile yourself with that creature, I will give you £3 to let it go." "Between me and God," he said, "I want no payment except what it deserves, hanging." "Very well, Lord, do as you please." Off went the priest. Manawydan tied the string around the mouse's neck. As he was hoisting it up, he could see a bishop's entourage and his baggage and his retinue, and the bishop himself approaching. So Manawydan postponed his work. "Lord Bishop," he said, "your blessing." "May God give you blessing," he said. "What sort of work are you engaged in?" "I'm hanging a thief I caught stealing from me," he said. "Isn't that a mouse I see in your hand?" he said. "It is," he said, "and it stole from me." "Well," said the bishop, "since I've arrived just when you were about to destroy that creature, I'll buy it from you. I'll give you £7 for it, and rather than see a man of your status destroying such a worthless creature, let it go, and you shall have the money." "I will not let it go, between me and God," he said. "Since you'll not let it go for that, I will give you £24 in ready money to let it go." "By my confession to God," he said, "I will not let it go for as much again." "Since you will not release the creature for that," he said, "I will give you every horse you can see on this plain, and the 7 loads of baggage that are on the 7 horses. "No, between me and God," he said. "Since you do not want that, name your price." "I will," he said, "the release of Rhiannon and Pryderi. You shall have that." "That's not enough, between me and God. What else do you want?" "Remove the magic and enchantment from the 7 cantrefs of David." "You shall have that too. Now let the mouse go." "I will not, between me and God," he said. "I want to know who the mouse is." "She is my wife, and if she were not, I would not free her." "How did she come to me?" "Stealing," he said. "I'm Llwyd, son of Kilcoed, and it is I who placed the enchantment on the 7 cantrefs of David, and I did so to avenge Gwawl, son of Clyd, out of friendship for him. And I took revenge on Pryderi because Pwychpen and Wfn played badger in the bag with Gwawl, son of Clyd, and he did that unwisely at the court of Herveydd, Hen. And having heard that you were living in the land, my retinue came to me and asked me to turn them into mice so that they could destroy your corn. The first night they came alone, and they came the second night too, and destroyed the 2 fields. But the third night my wife and the ladies of the court came to me and asked me to transform them too, and I did that. My wife was pregnant, and had she not been pregnant, you would not have caught her. But since she was, and you did, I will give you Pryderi and Rhiannon, and I will remove the magic and enchantment from David. I've told you who she is. Now let her go." "I will not let her go between me and God," he said. "What else do you want?" he said. "This is what I want," he said, "that there will never be any spell on the 7 cantrefs of David, and that none will ever be cast." "You shall have that," he said. "Now let her go." "I will not let her go between me and God," he said. "What else do you want?" he said. "This is what I want," he said, "that no vengeance will ever be taken on Pryderi and Rhiannon, nor on me because of this." "You shall have all of that, and God only knows you have struck a good bargain," he said. "Had you not done so," he said, "all the trouble would have fallen on your own head." "Yes," said Manawydan, "that is why I made it a condition. And now set my wife free." "I will not set her free between me and God until I see Pryderi and Rhiannon free with me." "Look, here they come," he said. Then Pryderi and Rhiannon appeared. He got up to meet them and welcome them, and they sat down together. "Sir, set my wife free now, for you have everything you asked for." "I will do so gladly," he said. Then she was released, and he struck her with a magic wand and changed her back into the fairest young woman that anyone had seen. "Look around you at the land," he said, "and you'll see all the houses and dwelling places as they were at their best." Then Manawydan got up and looked around, and when he looked he could see all the land inhabited and complete with all its herds and houses. "In what sort of captivity were Pryderi and Rhiannon?" said Manawydan. "Pryderi had the gate hammers of my court around his neck, while around hers Rhiannon had the collars of the asses after they'd been hauling hay, and that was their imprisonment. Because of that imprisonment, this story was called the Mabinogi of the Collar and the Hammer, and so ends this branch of the Mabinogi.